Hey, aloha, Michelle Melendez, Blossom Inner Wellness here on the Big Island of Hawaii. And I wanted to try this again because my first video of my awakening into question things of what I thought to be true got taken down. So I'm going to do this again with being very stealth with my words. And for those of you who are still not seeing or questioning anything, our First Amendment is gone. Our First Amendment of free speech is gone. So it's time to start looking deeper and to start questioning what's happening. So I want to share with you how I woke up because I know this is hard that to believe that the leaders that run countries don't have a different agenda in place. Not only with this that's happening in the world, but with all things, all traumas and tragedies that have happened throughout history. I understand because I was there about 8 years, 7 or 8 years ago. I had a boyfriend and we were talking about, and I'm going to be very stealth with my words, or this is going to get taken down. We were talking about the month before October, after August, that special month that starts with an S, the day after the 10th. We were talking about that date and the event that happened in New York City, the tragic event where two buildings that look the same were demolished, taken down. And we were talking about that. We were arguing because I was like, he was telling me a different story that he believed had happened and that I believed because I was there. I remember that day. I was teaching a 6 a.m. class and in California, and one of my clients came in and said a plane hit one of these buildings that the twin these buildings that look similar to each other hit one of the buildings. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, somebody flying a small Cessna. This is what my thought was because I didn't see the news at that time. Somebody's driving a small Cessna, fell asleep or passed out or something, had a heart attack or something, and accidentally flew the plane into one of these buildings. And then I thought, how traumatic, how horrible, oh my gosh. And then I got home and saw the news and realized what had happened and was shocked like everybody and went to church that night, which I hadn't been in years, and cried my eyes out and prayed and was traumatized just like everybody. And a couple of things. So him and I, my boyfriend at the time, 8 years ago, were arguing about this. And he said to me, he said, Michelle, he goes, I'll pay you $100 to watch one movie to start understanding what's going on. And I fought tooth and nail. I didn't want to see it. So I get and I understand why and how people who are choosing not to question things, why they don't want to look. Because I didn't want to look either. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see the possibility that he could be right, the possibility that things are different than the way that I thought they were. I didn't want to look. I didn't even want to look at it. I didn't even want to question it. So I understand that how people are that way. And he says, Michelle, I'll pay you $100 to watch Money Masters. And the year for that film was 1996. And I watched it 3 hours for 3 hours. And then I cried. I cried because I realized that things were not the way I thought they were. And I couldn't get out of bed for 3 days. I was super depressed. I was like, what do we do? What do we do? And there was nothing to do at the time. And so I understand when people go, you guys are conspiracy theorists and you're wrong. I get why people don't want to believe this and don't want to believe and see and even look and even read or even watch a movie because I didn't want to believe it. But here's the thing about the month before October, the day after the 10th, and that tragic event that happened in New York. The day before that happened, Rumsfeld found $23 trillion missing out of the Treasury. And that was the day before that event. Then all of a sudden, not only does nothing get said about that missing funds. But the exact location at the Pentagon where the records were stored was destroyed by that second airplane. And let me tell you something. I have a friend here on Big Island who I met, and she worked at the Pentagon at that time. And she said after that happened, she was there. She drove before any of the police got there because she was working that day in a different location. She said she drove and she said she didn't see any airplane debris. And then when the police came and all the people came, she tried to take her friend over to take a look, and they wouldn't let her go. They wouldn't let her through to see the wreckage again. They wouldn't let her through. So I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds like, Michelle, that's a movie that didn't happen. But that's an eyewitness friend who has been working for the military for over 30 years who shared this with me. And I know this is a scary time and scary to even consider that what has been happening to the world is not what we think. I get how it's absolutely terrifying to actually consider that. But when do we question things? When do we question things? When this first started going down at the beginning of 2020, and people were putting antibacterial soap or hand sanitizers on their hands, I was like, and wearing one of these on their face, I was like, this is not healthy for people. Did you know that most of your body is bacteria? Did you know that you have more bacteria than you do cells in your body? You have more bacteria in your gut and on your body than you do cells. You have 50 to 100 trillion cells of your body. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 years, over 20 years, since 1996. And I can tell you right now, bacteria keeps you healthy. Your body needs it. And if you're putting antibacteria that kills bacteria on your hands, and then you're eating your food, that bacteria is going into your system. Are you touching food and putting it into your body? It's killing not only the bacteria on your hands, but also starting to kill the internal bacteria. That's not healthy. You're actually killing the very thing that keeps you healthy, which is bacteria. If you're gonna wash your hands, which I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do, use regular soap. Don't use antibacterial soap. Don't put hand sanitizer on your hands. It is not healthy for you. It will start to lower your immune system because your body is healthy when it has bacteria, good bacteria on it. So wash your hands regularly, but with regular soap. This thing that you're putting on your face, if you can smell odor, if you can smell a fragrance, if you can smell somebody smoking next to you when you have this on your face, how does that keep you safe from a V? It doesn't. This is actually, you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide. And then when this starts to get wet because of the moisture that starts to condensation that starts to build up, now you're breathing in bacteria that your nasal passages and your throat are not supposed to have. So people have issues with nasal passages and throat issues and acne on their face from one of these because it's not supposed to be worn long term. It's for surgeons to wear so that their nasal passages, they don't drip or cough into the patient's body when they're working on them. That's why they wear one of these. They're not wearing one of these to keep them safe from a virus. They're keeping their patient safe from getting anything from them. If they cough or sneeze or something like that, they don't want to get that into the patient's body that's opened up on the operating table. That's why surgeons wear one of these. So the way to keep yourself healthy is to eat clean food, drink clean water. The very first thing they should have done with all of this stuff is close the fast food restaurants, because those are killing you from the inside out. So they don't do that. the best thing, the way to keep yourself healthy is to get fresh air, breathe fresh air, get sunshine, walk in nature, breathe, eat clean, healthy food, get exercise, wash your hands with regular soap, and be with people that you love and feel appreciation and love for yourself and for people. That'll keep you healthy way more than one of these, and way more than a hand sanitizer, which is literally poison you're putting on your hands. So I'm just saying all of this because I am wondering, if you're already knowing all this, thank you so much for having the courage to question things. And if you're not, when is it going to be time to question things? Doctors are being censored. They're being taken off YouTube. They're being taken off Instagram. They're being banned. Dr. Mercola, who has 30, 40 years experience as a doctor, professional, put his time in, put his years in, is amazing. I've been following him for years, is banned off of Twitter. Why is the doctor getting banned? Why is it that nurses who actually a nurse, I was watching this video on a nurse, and she said that we're not supposed to question the thing. She said we're not supposed to question it. She says that goes against everything we've been taught, because everything we've been taught, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. The first thing you do is you question things. You question things. And she says we are not allowed to question this thing that people are putting into their arm. We're not supposed to question it, but that goes against everything they've been taught. So when nurses and doctors are not allowed to question procedures, when hospitals get money for certain type of illnesses, like the one that starts with a C, when is it time to question things? Why aren't hospitals getting money for people with diabetes or cancer or heart disease? Those are two most highest diseases that cause death. But yet they're getting money for people with, why is that? Why? Just question things. That's all I'm asking. Take a look at things and start to question, is this really healthy for my child? Your child that is between 0 to 6 years old, they're starting to have their personality and who they see themselves out, their perceptions of the world. And now you're going to put this on their face. So this child learns my face is not safe. I can harm people unless I wear one of these, this that keeps people censored. Because it's really hard to speak your truth when you have one of these on your face. So I honor your journey. I honor who you are and where you're at with this story. And it is a scary time. And I've had people tell me that I'm dangerous. And I'm like, for speaking the truth? Why is that dangerous? This is America. You know, someone said, Michelle, these are the rules. I said, no, these are not the rules. This is America. We have a constitution that many millions of men and women have fought and died for. It's called freedom. Do we have that right now? Can you go into a store without a mask? How is that freedom? You're keeping people safe. Are you sure? Do you know for sure? This, which is keeping people safe. Why aren't you questioning things? I should have a right. If you have one of these on, how am I keeping you unsafe by not having one? If you have one of these on and there's plastic between us as well, why are you scared? I say that they love fear, because when people are afraid, they're easily controlled. When people aren't afraid, and to speak their truth. If you weren't afraid, what would you do? What would you be doing instead? Are you going to make your child wear one of these for the rest of their life? What are your grandchildren when they ask you what you did when their freedoms were being taken away? When they ask you, what did you do when everything was going down and they were making children who have a 99.992% chance of survival get one of these, and now kids are getting a heart issue. I don't even want to say the word because I'm afraid that'll get taken off as well. And I don't even know if this will get put up. But anyway, I just wanted to share and speak my truth and say, when is it time to question things? I love you guys. Sending you lots of aloha and inner strength and light and peace.